Mm, Jai Gurudev. Gurudev's involvement in Ayodhya dispute dates back to 2003, long before the final Supreme Court verdict in 2019. What inspired Gurudev to take part in this highly sensitive matter? Yes, Jai Gurudev. Gurudev has always believed that spiritual wisdom and leadership can play a pivotal role in resolving conflicts. He realized that the Ayodhya issue wasn't just a legal dispute, but one that carried emotional and historical weight for millions of people. Gurudev understood that only through dialogue, empathy, and understanding could the wounds of the past be healed. His spiritual training and his role as a peacemaker naturally led him to get involved with the goal of creating a peaceful resolution for all parties involved. Ayodhya dispute has been ongoing for decades, and several attempts had been made before 2003 to resolve it. And what did Gurudev's approach bring to the table that made a difference? Yes, Gurudev's approach was unique because he brought a holistic perspective to the problem. Unlike many who saw it purely as a legal or political issue, Gurudev approached the dispute with deep spiritual insight. He emphasized the importance of healing the collective psyche of the nation. His focus was on fostering mutual respect, dialogue, and understanding between communities. His personal involvement helped establish a bridge between the factions that had been at odds for too long. In 2017, the Supreme Court appointed a mediation panel of which he was a part of. How did the mediation process unfold, and what role did Gurudev play in it? Yes, Gurudev's role in the mediation panel was crucial. He brought with him an aura of calm and a deep sense of compassion. He was not only a spiritual leader but also a facilitator of dialogue. The mediation process, while difficult and sensitive, benefited from his ability to ensure that all parties involved, both Hindus and Muslims, felt heard. His primary role was to guide the discussions, foster a sense of empathy, and ensure that everyone was committed to finding a peaceful resolution. Through his leadership, the panel was able to encourage open, respectful communication between opposing sides. The mediation panel submitted a sealed report to the Supreme Court. Can you share some key recommendations from that report and how Gurudev's influence shaped them? Jai Gurudev, yes, the key recommendations of the panel centered around peace, reconciliation, and mutual respect. One of the most significant aspects of Gurudev's influence was his insistence that the solution should not be seen as a win for one side or a loss for another. The focus was on healing historical wounds and creating a space where both communities could coexist peacefully. Gurudev's spiritual wisdom guided the panel toward a solution that honored the sacredness of the land for both Hindus and Muslims. The report stressed the need for both communities to respect each other's sentiments, ensuring the resolution was both spiritually and emotionally fulfilling. In 2019, Supreme Court delivered its verdict supporting the construction of the Ram Temple in Ayodhya. How did Gurudev react to this moment, and what message did he send to the nation? Gurudev expressed great joy, but his reaction was centered around peace and unity. He saw the verdict as a historic moment, but cautioned the nation against seeing it as a victory or defeat. Gurudev's message was clear. The Ram Temple should not be a symbol of division, but rather one of unity, healing, and collective harmony. He emphasized that India's diversity is its strength and that the verdict should bring people together, not push them further apart. For Gurudev, the real victory was in the spirit of reconciliation and respect that arose from the mediation process. The issue had deep political and emotional implications. How did Gurudev ensure that the mediation process remained apolitical and spiritually focused? Yes, Gurudev's spiritual focus played a central role in keeping the mediation process grounded. He constantly reminded all parties that the ultimate goal was peace, not political gain. He made it clear that the dispute, though deeply political for some, had to be viewed through the lens of compassion, mutual respect, and love for the nation. His neutrality was key in creating a platform where all voices could be heard and respected without the pressures of political or sectarian agendas. Through his spiritual leadership, Gurudev maintained a space where the focus remained on building bridges rather than walls. There were many doubts about whether a resolution was possible, especially given the entrenched positions on both sides. What kept Gurudev hopeful and steadfast throughout the years of dialogue and mediation? Gurudev's steadfastness came from his belief in the power of dialogue and human connection. He always maintained that peace is possible no matter how difficult the circumstances. His spiritual teachings on forgiveness, healing, and the importance of seeing the divine in all people gave him the strength to persist. Gurudev was also guided by his deep faith in the goodness of people. He believed that as long as people were willing to listen, a path to peace would emerge. His patience, vision, and leadership were key to keeping hope alive throughout the years. How do you think the process of Ayodhya mediation will impact the future of interfaith dialogue in India? The Ayodhya mediation process will be remembered as a turning point in India's approach to interfaith dialogue. Gurudev's leadership has showed that deep rooted religious differences can be addressed through understanding, mutual respect, and compassion. The process has set an example for future conflicts, demonstrating that issues can be resolved through resorting to violence without resorting to violence or hatred. It will inspire generations to come to seek peaceful resolutions to conflicts rooted in spirituality and human dignity. Through his involvement, Gurudev has paved the way for an India where all communities can live together in harmony and respect. With the Ram Temple construction underway, what is the key message that Gurudev has for people of India in this new chapter? Gurudev's key message is one of unity, peace, and respect for all religions. He has emphasized that the construction of Ram Temple is not just a religious or political victory, it is an opportunity to come together as a nation and uphold the values of love and compassion that India stands for. He reminds the people that the true spirit of the temple lies in the ideals of service, humility, and respect for all. Gurudev calls on everyone to see the Ram Temple as a symbol of harmony and collective progress where all communities can work together for a brighter, peaceful future. Jai Gurudev. Gurudev's involvement with the Ayodhya dispute goes back to 2003. What inspired him to play an active role in such a delicate and historically charged matter? Yes, Gurudev has always believed that a true leadership, comes from bringing people together. When the Ayodhya dispute continued to cause division in society, Gurudev felt that his role as a spiritual leader could contribute to healing the rift. From the very beginning, he saw the conflict not as a political issue, but one that could be resolved through dialogue, respect, and understanding. His involvement was motivated by the desire to foster peace between two communities with deep emotional ties to the issue. Over the years, you have worked to bring both Hindus and Muslims to the table. What challenges did you face in bridging such deeply entrenched positions? One of the greatest challenges was the intense emotional attachment both communities had to the site. For Hindus, it is a place of spiritual significance, and for Muslims, it was a matter of historical and cultural heritage. Gurudev's ability to understand these perspectives and facilitate discussions where both sides could express their views with respect was crucial. He encouraged empathy and emphasized that this was not a battle of religious identities but a national issue that could be resolved peacefully. Through his teachings of nonviolence, forgiveness, and patience, he was able to keep the focus on finding common ground rather than letting emotions dictate the outcome. You were a part of the mediation panel appointed by the Supreme Court. Could you share some insights on how the panel worked to craft a solution? Yes, Gurudev played a significant role in ensuring that the mediation process was rooted in spiritual values. He emphasized dialogue over confrontation. The panel, composed of experienced negotiators and legal experts, was guided by Gurudev's wisdom on the importance of reconciliation. The discussions were based on mutual respect, and he was instrumental in creating a space where all parties felt heard. Throughout the mediation process, Gurudev reminded everyone that the goal was not to win or lose, but to find a solution that would benefit the larger community and promote peace. The mediation report was submitted in 2019, just before the Supreme Court's landmark verdict. What key recommendations were made in the sealed report, and what role did Gurudev play in shaping them? The panel's primary recommendation was to create a solution that would not only address the legal aspects but also acknowledge the emotional significance of the site for both communities. Gurudev played a pivotal role in ensuring that the solution would be rooted in peace and respect. The mediation emphasized the importance of building trust and cooperation between the Hindu and Muslim communities. His spiritual perspective encouraged a solution that would allow both sides to coexist peacefully, acknowledging the religious sentiments of both groups. This spirit of reconciliation became a guiding principle in the final report, which called for a harmonious outcome that focused on healing. The final verdict of the Supreme Court in 2019 supported the construction of the Ram Temple at the disputed site. How did Gurudev react to the verdict? Gurudev welcomed the verdict with a message of unity and harmony. He believed that the verdict was a moment for India to embrace its diversity and strengthen its unity. Gurudev's reaction was not one of triumph but of peaceful celebration. He reminded people that the Ram temple should not be viewed as a symbol of division, but as a beacon of togetherness and respect. His message was that the resolution should mark the beginning of a new era where all religious communities in India could live in peace, united by the values of love, tolerance, and mutual respect. Given the political and emotional nature of the issue, how did Gurudev ensure that the mediation process remained impartial and spiritually focused? Yes, Gurudev's approach was rooted in his belief that spirituality transcends politics. He never allowed a mediation to be swayed by political agendas or emotional compassion, understanding, and forgiveness. In every discussion, Gurudev ensured that both sides felt respected and valued. His role as a mediator was not to take sides but to facilitate a solution that would heal the wounds of the past. His teachings about nonviolence and the importance of inner peace were central to the success of the mediation process. During such a prolonged and sensitive mediation, what lessons do you think the process taught both the participants and the nation? The process taught us that dialogue is key to resolving conflicts. It reminded both communities and the nation that real solutions come from mutual understanding and respect, not from aggression or division. Gurudev's role as a mediator emphasized that patience, empathy, and open hearted communication can break down even the most difficult barriers. For the nation, the mediation process reinforced the importance of maintaining peace even when the situation seems complex. It showed us that resolving issues at the grassroots level through compassion and dialogue is far more effective than simply relying on legal or political measures alone. The Ram temple will soon be constructed as someone who played such a pivotal role in this process. What is Gurudev's vision for the future? Gurudev's vision is clear. The Ram temple should serve as a symbol of unity, not division. He hopes that it will be a space where people of all faiths can come together in peace. Gurudev believes that the real significance of the temple lies not just in its structure but in the values it represents. The temple, according to him, should be a place of service, kindness, and mutual respect where people can come together to connect with their spiritual selves and with each other. For Gurudev, the true message of Ram is one of love and understanding, which can guide us in every aspect of our lives, especially in times of conflict. How do you believe the Ayodhya mediation will shape future interfaith dialogue in India? The Ayodhya mediation has set an example for future interfaith dialogues in India. It has shown that even the most contentious issues can be addressed through compassion and mutual respect. Gurudev's leadership during the process has demonstrated that when we approach conflicts with the intention to heal and understand, the path to peace becomes clear. This mediation is a model for resolving religious conflicts with dignity and respect and will undoubtedly inspire future generations to prioritize dialogue over confrontation. Finally, Gurudev, as this historic chapter closes, what message would you like to leave for the people of India and the world? Gurudev's message is one of unity and peace. He urges the people of India and the world to embrace the values of compassion, respect, and understanding. He believes that the resolution of the Ayodhya dispute is just the beginning of a larger movement towards greater interfaith harmony and global peace. His vision for the future is one where individuals, communities, and nations live together in peace, where differences are celebrated, and where their shared values of love and humanity guides their actions. Jai Gurudev.